recorded live from Random Secret Studios in Philadelphia and in the Bumble F part of California.
I'm the Capo. This man is the Prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the pod. Guys, welcome back to Sons of Ben, the pod, probably the most special episode we have ever had. And it is episode number Kimmo Timonen.
Kimmo Timonen is low-key Ring of Honor level of a Flyers player, but because the Flyers never won a cup in that era, not enough of those players are going to truly get recognized on their impact in the organization as a whole. But Kimmo Timonen is up there with like the Eric Desjardins of the world. You know, he is a rock solid Flyer through and through. And when he won that cup with the Chicago Blackhawks, I actually felt genuine joy for that man. That was the person who deserved to host Lord Stanley. I just hate he had to do it to the background of Chelsea Dagger.
Gentlemen, this week's guest might be the most special guest we have ever had, and I'm gonna show it to you because he or she is sitting right next to me. I know this is not a visual medium, but you can hear me grunt as I lift the ISC supporter shield. Oh my God, it's heavy. So, for those of you at home, I'm really lifting
What a
it.
beauty.
Wow. It is much shinier than the Captain America shield. But here's the thing: you've had it flipped for the people at home who obviously didn't see that. He had it flipped upside down at first, and it looked like a pizza tray. Like the back of it itself kind of looked like a pizza tray, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this isn't the real one either." And then he flipped it over. I was like, "Oh, that's super shiny. That looks nice. That's good."
It's shiny. It's a little scratched. It's got some fingerprints. You can tell this is the Stanley Cup version of North American soccer. This thing has seen some stuff, and I keep sanitizing it every time I get a chance to.
Oh man, you got to do it for COVID, man. You got to make sure that the kids don't get like inhaled with this. This can't get to, like, after what Mr. Wagner did with the Captain America shield. I feel like we all need to make sure that Lysol is on deck, for all transactions.
This is like 35 pounds of Canadian sterling silver, so you want to keep it clean if you can.
The Canucks make a good sterling silver.
All right, let's get through some news. Beer of the Pod, everyone. Yards, 2SP, and the Larimer. Support those that support us. I hear our beer is selling very, very well, so get it while you can, because they did the one batch, and I don't know when they can get another one. So stock up, because I got to say, we got about a month more of Union soccer. Easily.
At least. Devin, what are you drinking in California?
This is whatever IPA I was able to find. It's Elysian Space Dust IPA, a hefty 8%.
Space Dust IPA. My God.
Space Dust. You see that?
Do you know it's a school night, my friend?
Devin may not make it, but it's only like 4 o'clock out there, so he's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's not going to make it till 9 p.m. My God.
All right, in the news, we'll just lead off the top story of the day. Adam, we won the shield.
What shield?
The supporter shield.
That thing. Yeah. So, look. Do you understand the beauty, the majesty, the pageantry, the alacrity of what we just done? Look. You can throw your little asterisks deep into the heart of the Delaware. I don't give a damn. This was probably one of the hardest trophies to possibly win in the history of MLS, just via circumstance. And the thing that people don't want to talk about with the Union is the thing that is the be-all that makes this such a just impressive accomplishment is the fact that if you look at strength of schedule, something that you actually had a measure for, the Union had the hardest schedule in MLS after the MLS is Back tournament. So, all this to be to say is, they came in, took care of business, and look, we all were nervous going into Sunday. I was, I know Devin was, I know Matt was, but they said, look, we're just going to hold it. We're going to take care of business. Wayne, PA, drink. Matt Freeze only saw one shot on goal. And you know what that means? That team was like, no, absolutely not today. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. This is our day. This is our night. This is our year. And now, not only are we going to Champions League, we have a big, shiny, round disc to bring to Guadalajara when we get there.
Now, we're going to get more into the Shield, but I just did want to comment, and I hope I really don't insult him, but I really don't give an F. Hey, Alexi Lalas, with you and your asterisk crap, change the asterisk to this. That's called an exclamation point. Because like Adam said, this is probably one of the hardest seasons anyone's ever had to deal with all the circumstances surrounding. From having to go to play in Orlando at 8 in the morning, 8 at night, or 10 at night, locked up in a hotel room, not being able to see your family and friends, to playing in mini bubbles and traveling day of and leaving the day out. So I don't want to hear asterisk my ass. Exclamation point, we'll put that on that shield. I'll pay for the engraving myself, but no asterisk. All right, back, more news. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but the election is not over. I just mean the Sons of Ben election. I didn't want anybody from either party getting crazy now. I'm just talking about
I'm going to fight you.
Sons of Ben. You got excited, man.
Hands are about to be thrown from this far.
So check the knack out. The candidates have been announced. We're going to do some Q&A soon. Maybe some slanderous social media against each other. Mudslinging. It's going to be a good old time.
Oh, my God. Can we get some mudslinging? Yes.
Jeff Mitchell already called me a hoe, so there's been mudslinging. Yeah, that was
Jeff
on
Mitchell
Facebook.
calls everyone a hoe. That's not impressive. That's like getting blocked by Rich on Twitter. It's not
I know,
impressive.
I'm getting slandered by Jeff Mitchell, and I'm running unopposed. This is just the most brutal election ever. It makes last week's look easy, you know.
Oh, that's why I'm drinking 2 different alcoholic beverages
Oh
right
my
now.
Lord. Adam has
I've
not
got
stopped
2.
partying since the game.
No,
Look.
Adam is going to be. He'll be done before the pod's done.
Look,
For everyone
as
that cannot see this, he has a hard liquor in his right hand and
He's got
a
Elijah-
beer in the left hand.
An Elijah Craig bourbon and a fine Italian lager in the other.
So as the great poet from the Banks of Canada once said, I want this drink and another one. Shout outs to Aubrey Graham. No, like, look, who else would be partying for 4 days straight other than your boy? Obviously. Like, my God, that game was so, like, I actually fell down. I know we're going to talk about the game later, but I fell down after the Corey Burke goal and cried like a child. Like a
I want to get into that
bawling
later because
child.
I turned around and looked at
Yes.
you and I had another concern. But hold on. So
Everyone
World
thought I
Cup,
hurt myself, and I was like, no, I'm good.
World Cup 2026. Just go to Philadelphia2026.com. Sign up to be a supporter. You're going to hear more news about that. I actually talked to the guy that's leading the council. Sent him a picture with me in the shield. I go, you want me to bring this to events? He goes, wait, you can? I'm like, yeah, we're the custodians of this. He goes, holy crap. That's the coolest trophy I ever heard of, that the fans get to control it for the year. So we will be doing events there. A little bit of beer news, just a little bit. And this is going to answer Adam's question about who has been partying for 4 days. The answer to that is Joe Bednick. We have seen Sons of Ben beer cans littered all across the Philadelphia Union players' apartments, condos, townhouses, and refrigerators. So behind the scenes, we dropped off a couple cases in the locker room for friend of the pod, Brandon Comiskey, to ice down, and apparently the beers were flowing and used probably as showers too, but I think Joe Bednick is still partying.
I would argue he did not go as hard as me. Now, he could still be going as long as I did, but he did not do this as impressively as your boy.
Did you pass out on Casper Shabilko's sofa with a pizza on you?
Look, the
Rumor is he did.
the sofa doesn't matter, but the circumstances are very similar. That's all I'm going to say. I woke up, covered in chocolate-covered pretzels. That's all I'm going to say. Life comes at you fast.
I call that a Tuesday, Adam, but that's just 'cause I'm a fat ass.
Hey, man, I went running that morning with a good old hangover, though. I had to burn it off somehow.
All right, last two bits. Viewing parties. I gotta imagine the drunken union Zoom meeting on Friday is gonna have something to say, and then we will have word on viewing parties for the upcoming playoff game. Stay tuned. Devin, Discord action. Anything going on?
Discord. There, for anybody in the Discord, they know the Discord has been very eventful for many reasons over the past week. Um, but aside from that, we had our winners for the predictions for the regular season. Those winners were Evan C. and Aaron, winning they tied at the top of the leaderboard, so they both get a prize. So we are now resetting the leaderboard for the playoffs. So go join the Discord and get your predictions in. And
What's the prize? Is it like an autographed picture of producer
the
Devin?
prize is your choice of Philadelphia Union gear, whatever you would like, under a reasonable price point.
Not
that-
not that Chinese stuff that you're sporting, right? The real deal, or
No, yeah. So not a knockoff Philadelphia Union jersey.
Look, I got a knockoff Barcelona Phil Coutinho jersey. It happens to the best of us. It's all good. But no, just Devin, you didn't tell them about the Adam Booth 12-month Capo calendar. That wasn't an available prize this year. I mean, I made it, and it's ready for production. I don't know if you need
you know what
this.
we'll do?
friend of
we'll
the pod,
we'll
Morgan
do
was photographing, was taking your picture all the time.
Look, all I'm saying is it's a tasteful spread for the holiday.
Let's do a Adam Booth advent calendar for the holidays.
Oh, kids, 40 days of Booth? I'll do it. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's just discuss a little of Shield action. So the Shield made its way over, and I guess since we probably are the only pod that's got the most knowledge of all the behind the scenes BS that went through. So where do you want me to
that
start?
means Matt. Literally Matt.
Yeah.
Me and Devin
Yeah,
know
just
nothing.
you.
It's just Matt.
I mean-
we the pod, aka me. I know the most about everything. So tell us, Matthew,
Where
what
do
happened?
you guys want to start from when it wasn't being awarded to it was being awarded to when it was coming to
Well,
Philly
I think we
to
could
the
blow
UPS?
past a lot of that.
Yeah.
We
Look,
don't
man,
need that.
Ange-
we
I
need, what we
read-
need to know is
I
Go
read
ahead.
Andrew Wibby's feed. I'm good here. I need to know two things. One, the Captain America shield. Were y'all pretending that was heavy, or was that actually heavy? I got questions.
Nah, that was about 12 pounds. I mean, that was metal.
Okay.
That was a nice. That was a real deal. Like I'm telling you, whoever's fiance bought that, he probably got in trouble because he spent that kind of money on a shield for a costume. But it was a nice.
It looked good. I mean,
But-
if you're gonna do Captain America, you gotta do it,
Yeah.
my friend.
I mean,
was-
yeah, that was probably the best case outcome for a mock
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah.
It looked very good.
You're
Yeah.
talking to a man who goes to Comic-Con, so you're not gonna really tell me that was money not well spent.
Yeah.
I'm just
and,
gonna
and
be real
also
with
on
you.
that note, the whole mock shield thing, I feel like what's the saying? All publicity is good publicity. Like the whole thing has been going basically around the world. Like I listened to a couple like UK based podcasts, and they were talking about the Philadelphia Union on podcasts that have never mentioned MLS before. We're mentioning about this Captain America shield because it was so funny. But like it was, so it increased the reach of the team for sure.
And let me tell you, this isn't the first time in the Shield history that there had to be a stand-in, because the rule of the Shield is normally you get it the game after you clinch. So if we got it Columbus, they were for sure right then and there sending it out. LA got it because they clinched that thing like 3 weeks early last year, I think, because they had such a big margin. NYUFU, they actually used a Captain America shield as a representative, but because nobody pays attention to baseball in October, nobody realized that happened. So with us, and this is the whole UPS debacle, Monday night after Columbus, I reached out to the Supporters Shield Foundation. I go, what do? We know Toronto plays at Red Bull. We play. Whoever wins this. Do you guys want to get this on the East Coast from the LA guys and maybe put it in a car and somebody's halfway between Harrison and Chester, and when you know the results, run it down? Something. I didn't know. So they go, well, technically, you guys can bring the Shield to Philadelphia because you're technically in first place. You're the favorite to win it. So we asked the board, and this was for me. You know, I'm a nutcase when it comes to bad juju and jinxes and everything. The board unanimously, because I didn't vote, said, yeah, bring it. So we're like, all right, we're bringing it to Philly. And the plan was I was going to keep it hidden in the trunk of my car until we knew, and I was going to run out to the parking lot and bring it because I didn't want the actual trophy in there without us having clinched it. Yes, Adam, you have a question about my jinx mentality? Because it
No,
worked.
I have a question about your truck. What's your truck? What is the trunk in your
I have a
truck?
trunk inside my pickup truck.
Where? Where is it? Like it's inside the flatbed?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, you could fill that up with ice and beer. It's got a drainage. It's awesome, man.
I know
Shout out
nothing
to
about
Honda for thinking about the
pickups.
American beer drinker when they made a truck.
Yeah, that's who they were thinking of. No, yeah, I have no knowledge of pickup trucks. I have to admit that. So I'm a bad Southern descendant. I
Yeah.
have to admit, but still, okay, continue. My
So
apologies.
LAFC, the 3252, has got about 7 different groups, and they were told on Tuesday morning to ship the shield out. Apparently, those groups didn't know who had it for a day or so, so they got it out.
It's just
But
somewhere
listen,
in Compton, there's a supporter shield.
so they were not that efficient getting it to the UPS facility. But on top of that, because it's 2020, they got it there. It was marked for 2 day. It was supposed to be at my house originally Thursday, then Friday. Thursday, I'm like, whoa, I'm not seeing any movement on the tracking. What's going on? And they're like, wildfires delayed it. Like, okay, no problem, understood. This is when I was ready to call Devin to have him drive down from Bumble Left, California to go get this thing. And then apparently nobody marked Saturday delivery. So UPS, in its infinite wisdom of logistics and efficiency, they didn't move it to the East Coast until Sunday night, Monday morning. Like I went to the South Philly UPS location, and even before the game to the Philadelphia airport because that's their sorting facility, just to see if any movement came. And let me tell you, there's UPS and Chick Fil A. You got a better chance of getting service on a Sunday at Chick frickin' Fil A than you do UPS because they are shut down.
I have too many jokes. They're all nerdy. I'm keeping them all to myself. So continue,
I
Matthew.
here's how bad it got. At the airport, I was talking to the security guard at the sorting facility UPS, and I got him to give me his cell phone number, and we were texting to see if any planes landed. That we were going to just, if a plane landed,
Wow.
we were going to drive to the airport to see if it was there. Like, that's how stupid this was getting. Like,
I appreciate.
shout out to my
the
man
commitment.
Lanier at UPS Security. You're the man, Lanier.
Like a couple days from now, I'm gonna listen back to all the pods and get together a list of reasons why I'm not on the board of the Sons of Ben, and this is gonna be up there, like in the top 10 at least, because I don't want to have a tracking number and driving back and forth to like Cargo City to wait for a plane to fall down.
Oh, this wasn't Cargo City. This was Hog Island, other side of the airport, right along the Delaware.
Our airport sucks, by the way. I mean, I know that's just so much of a digression. It hurts, but that's a real thing. The Philadelphia International Airport's terrible. We need a second one, and it needs to be built in like Delaware. But that's another conversation. Let's talk to
Yeah.
Rich. Can Rich get us an airport outside of Wilmington? I'm just saying.
We can
Let's
find
talk
out.
to the fam.
But no, the Shield made it on Monday, and like a lunatic, I was on my laptop in my living room or sitting on my stoop in Fairmount watching the little truck drive around my neighborhood until UPS finally came up. And I was laughing because this guy had a hand dolly. And you see this giant Pelican case, plastic case, that's got all these supporters, stickers on it. And I see the UPS guy's trying to get it off the hand truck. And I'm like, what is it, stuck? And he's just grunting. I'm like, what the? And I go to one arm, pick this thing up, and it's like 65 pounds. I almost pull my shoulder out. I'm like, glad my girlfriend isn't watching me. She'd been like, "Yo, weakling, you're dumped." So it was pretty interesting to like bring that thing into the house because the case is massive for this shield. But yeah, we got it on Monday, and so far the rest has been a drunken history.
Gotta lift with your legs, my guy. Lift
They
with the
should have
legs.
put a little sticker on said this is heavy. You know, They should have-
What's fragile mean? No.
that's French for a major award.
Right. No, I mean, look, man, I am this is the most Philadelphia Union thing possible, is having like a borderline Disney movie style escapade to get this thing, and then to end up with an actual Marvel prop at the end of all of this. And like the best thing about it is just like the gentle realization that everyone's making where they're just like, that ain't the real shield,
Yeah.
is it? Like
I don't think people realized until they saw the straps on the back is when
No,
people were like,
no,
wait
no,
a
no,
second.
no. If you saw the front of it immediately, you're like,
Oh,
that
well,
looks
I know.
cartoonish.
Yeah.
Like that, because if you've ever seen the supporter shield before, you know it's shiny, you know it's only so big, and and so like when you see these guys hoisting it up, you're like, this looks bigger than it usually is, and it looks matte, like it looks MATTE matte. It looks like it was just painted on, and it looked like it was, again, the thing that was pointed out all the time is it looked like it was if you had an anime and they just put an anime photo in a real life photo just gently over the shield. That's what it looked like.
The best is today. Did you see the side by side picture that the Union released? It
Yes.
was Matty Ice and Casper holding it. It was pretty good. And apparently the team is going to try to buy that shield from him just
Oh,
to
yeah.
have for Union lore, because they don't get to have a copy of this. This is
No,
that one unique
this
piece
travels.
that floats around and travels. So that's kind of cool.
So I don't know if you knew this, Matt, but I don't think the players, when you were bringing the shield out, knew that it was not the real
Oh.
one until Bedoya finally picked it up and was like, "Wait a second." But when you were putting the shield down on the stand there, and it was like it wasn't going well, and the camera cut to Bedoya, and Bedoya's like, "No, don't drop it, don't drop it," and his face is so fucking.
So
funny.
that's when, and we'll get into but when we were walking out, they go, "Oh, you put it on the stand there." I go, "Did you guys?" "Oh no, we tested it. It fits and it holds it." I'm like, okay, this thing was like a plastic easel from Staples. Like Amazon Delivers probably brought it like 15 minutes beforehand, and the Jess's side, the little like part that you rest the shield on, started pivoting around the thing. So it wasn't like it was bending down or breaking. It was just loose and was pivoting away. And we're like, what the? You guys said you tested this. And then back in my mind, I'm going, I got COVID tested 2 days in a row so I could be on the field. I can't just hand it to the dude. I got to be 13 feet away. Like I got stuff shoved up my nose just so I could be there. Why don't we just hand it to the guy instead of putting it on this? They might have got a deal from Staples on the easel and got a sponsorship. But yeah, that was the most nerve-wracking part was that. Thinking that thing was going to drop on the ground. And I was just going to point at Jess. It's all her fault. I was just going to start with that.
If that would have fell on the
Like-
ground before anybody realized that it was not the real one.
No, unlike a good leader, Matt blames his second in command. Like
That's
the
what you
Zap,
do, man.
the
See
Zap
Carson Wentz.
Brannigan, the Zap Brannigan of leaders over here is just like, Kif did it. No, legitimately though. But that's like, and here's the thing: from the stands, it looked off. But like it didn't look. But like I mean, who gives a shit in the moment?
Yeah,
like
did
no
it
one's
matter?
paying attention.
Like I
no,
thought,
it didn't matter. But
I
it was
thought
just
the
like you
team
could
did a-
tell.
I thought they did a good job for the time they had. Row, their printer, are the ones that printed it, and because they didn't even realize when they go, oh, the dimensions are this, they didn't know it was concave. They didn't know it was like a heat-resistant metal, like it had a magnet on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So they had some issues. So they did a really good job. So I mean, I know it didn't look authentic, but it shouldn't look authentic because they don't want to have a replica shield. But it
course
served its
not.
purpose, and I don't think
Yeah.
anyone on the team felt less special because the shield wasn't there. I don't think anyone in the
Yeah.
crowd.
Nobody
yeah.
cared.
Yeah, no one gives
None
a-
of none of
Yeah,
the
they could have
fans
had a
cared.
trash can
Yeah.
lid with Oscar the freaking Grouch on it, and I think everybody would have been fine because they won the damn shield. Like that's the one thing I've said is, in my lifetime as a Union fan, which seems like 3 lifetimes right now, I never thought we were going to win the Supporter Shield. U.S. Open Cup, yeah.
Ah.
Can we back into an MLS with some like cool playoff upsets? Yeah, we could do that. Win the Supporter Shield when you got Home Depot money rolling in, like for every gallon of Glidden paint you buy, Arthur Blank spends $2 on buying somebody from South America to come. Like L.A. Galaxy loses Beckham and they get, oh, let's get that guy from Liverpool, Stevie Gerrard. Oh, Stevie Gerrard, let's get this guy from Sweden to come. Like, how are we ever going to win the regular season, have the most points? So for me, this has just been like oh my God, we just hit the Powerball. Like it's crazy.
Well, I mean, look, we can have a deep philosophical discussions on the merits of a youth academy versus MLS's structure of bringing in superstars for 2 to 3 years and then having them be Chicharito occasionally. But that's another discussion for another day that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, wants to have right now. What we do
Yeah.
want to talk about is the party time celebration and the fact that I lit off way too much smoke in the river end that probably made some asthmatic people very unhappy. And I do apologize. But at one time, and I forget who was the person who told me. It might have been Matt. It wasn't Matthew. He was too busy with on-field shenanigans. But someone told me, light them all. So,
I
like a
think it
good
was
capo.
Jamie. I think it was Jamie, the security guard, told you to light them all.
And like a good capo, I just follow orders. If anyone's ever seen The Godfather, we are here to just follow orders.
So Devin, here's the best. I get off the, and we'll get into the whole field thing, but get off the field. First people I see is my father and my girlfriend. And my dad's like, hey man, I really don't want to complain. I'm like, you're 77 years old. That's all you do. So what is it? He goes, yeah, you got to tell them to chill it with the smoke. We couldn't see the field. Like they couldn't see because there was so much smoke. So then Adam and TC see each other at the Larimer. And TC, being from the Midwest and very sweet, she goes, Adam, that's smoke. That was aggressive. Adam thought she said impressive. He goes, no, aggressive. And he goes, sorry, but I'm not going to apologize now.
I'm like, no. And here's the thing. At that point, your boy was plastered. So I'm like, I give no damns at that point. But
And I couldn't be mad about it, except now that after the fact, I'm going to have to ask every capo to understand this. Do you know how hard it is to find smoke during the pandemic? Fireworks
Okay,
and
that's
smoke
fair.
are worse than the toilet paper. We're going to be hunting
Look.
high and low for that again.
look, all I'm saying is there's a possibility that, we could just bottom out and lose in the first round. Then we'll not need to smoke until next year. Look, fight me.
Oh,
Fight
Easy,
me.
Devin. Adam.
Look. I'm only saying that for the purposes of we should also savor what has been accomplished because this is it. Like, look. Everyone is excited about the MLS Cup, and doing a double would be an amazing feat. And I'm here for this. I'm like legitimately excited about the idea. And I think, and I've said this on several podcasts, I do believe the Union will win the MLS Cup. I felt that way for the better parts of the season. I felt that way since the MLS's back tournament, that this was probably the best roster top to bottom in MLS. That being said, knockout rounds are knockout rounds. One seeds lose all the time. I'm not going to be here and just be a naive individual. And I'm from Philadelphia. Legitimately, outside of my college basketball team, I have experienced 3 major championships with all of the 5 big teams to me, and this is the third. I haven't been able to truly celebrate too many things. So I'm trying to find that healthy balance between getting excited about the possibilities of getting Andre Blake back, everyone being healthy, everyone being rested, and making a run at Subaru Park all the way to the end, but also saying, look at what we just did. Look at what was just accomplished. Look at what it took to be accomplished. Look at the fact that we had to put 5 bleeping homegrowns in the final game just to get it accomplished. It's Jason Kelsey sitting on the art museum steps in the Mummers outfit screaming, it takes the whole team. And it authentically takes the whole team. And can we all just sit there and absorb the image of Ray Gaddis hoisting a trophy? Like, is that not the most wholesome bit of content you could possibly find on a Sunday afternoon? Like, it's just a peach. It's the literal embodiment of a peach.
And let me tell you, because and I know Devin wanted to talk about it a little bit today, and I don't want to jump ahead because I know we want to talk about the game, but today I brought the Shield to the annex because the players had to get tested. They're off till Thursday because they deserve it, but they still have to do the every 2 days testing. So I brought the Shield to the annex, went in, mask up, went in, put it down. First player I see, Anthony Fontana. And like I unwrap and he goes, he didn't know what I had in this blanket. He's like, what the, oh my God. Like I'm like, pick it up. Second person I saw, Ray Gaddis. Talk about having to, and the look on their faces were both like this, holy crap, look at this. This is what we did. And it was, the youth and the veteran seeing this for the first time, and it was almost the same expression and the smiles on the guys' faces. And I was telling Devin in the before the show, I was sitting in my car waiting for them to get everything done and take their pictures from afar. I didn't want to be anywhere near it. I didn't want to creep around. I didn't want to be that guy, even though I really wanted to be that guy. Um, but watching those guys, they would pull up in their car and they'd see the shield and watch them cheese out to see it and get their pictures taken. It almost was better than the moment being on the field, just to see how much it meant to each individual player. Like, it's funny, they would get out of their car, go to get tested, and then realize the shield was there. The union photographers taking their picture, and every one of them would walk back to their car, grab their camera, their phone, and hand it to them. And be like, "I need a couple pictures just to bring home with me." Like they were over the moon. Like, you saw that excitement on the field, but it was just personal and like, holy crap, this really means a lot. Like it was one of the coolest moments I've ever had as Sons of Ben president for sure.
Look, I went to St. Joe's, and like in comparison to a lot of schools, it's Division One, and they've done some things in the past. So like success on the basketball court isn't the most far fetched thing, but in all honesty, in all reality, we're a 4,000 student school in sandwiched between West Philadelphia and City Avenue. We're surrounded by gianter programs. We're not even just talking about the Villanovas, even in our own conference. We're not the biggest fish in the pond. So the couple of times when we won the conference, not even like made deep runs in the tournament and all that, but just won the conference, those were the days that really justified your experience as a fan. It really made you feel a certain type of way about it. And it's just like, I remember talking to my friends who went to Villanova, and at this point, Villanova fans are just like, if we don't win the whole thing, what's the point? And it's just like, I want to get there. I want to be a team where we're consistently striving for a championship all the time. But I love the novelty in it being the first time. And I love the novelty in having a team where this trophy isn't bigger than or isn't less than any person on this team. This isn't like Higuain and Blaise Matuidi seeing the supporter shield and being like, I've won Champions League. It's every person on this team is just like, this is a big bleeping deal. Like, we had Aronson on the last pod, and he was just like, I want to win this for my home. Like, I want to win this for the team that raised me. And it's like, to see the genuine excitement on every one of these players, from Kai Wagger to Ray to Alejandro, to like, all of it was pure, unadulterated joy. And like that's what connects you. That all of the fans were feeling the same thing that every one of those players, that Jim was feeling. Like, that trophy will be, obviously because it's the first, but just the whole kit and caboodle and what made that trophy materialize in Chester on Sunday night or Tuesday afternoon is folklore, and not only just Union history, but Philadelphia sports history. This is a moment to savor forever.
Oh yeah. Now let's just talk a little bit about the game, and we've always said we're not X's and O's, so we don't have to go too much into the game because everyone's seen it. Probably a lot of people have DVR'd it and watched it again and again. But like, let's get some emotions because we've got three different viewpoints. I was quarantined on the original Capo stand, so I was right behind the goal. Devin was stuck in a Motel 6 watching it on bad rabbit ear TVs on ABC, and Adam was running around like a lunatic on, between 139 and 135, I guess, running around with a megaphone. So everybody, so just thoughts on the game from and any point that you thought, like when Matty Freeze charged out and got knocked to the ground, to Santos's goal, to, well, hold on, let's just get this out of the way real quick. Adam, how did you feel right when Corey Burke headed that ball in? What did you say? What did you do?
No, I cried. Like, I
No,
felt
no, 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 no,
directly.
no, no.
I fell directly to the ground. Like I just felt because like it I've only felt that way sports wise a couple of times where I was just like legitimately overcome with such emotion that I just like my knees gave out and there was nothing I could have done. And I embraced it. Like there's something I saw a comedian the other day talk about this. The older you get, the more you're prepared to fall. Like the more that you like understand the art of falling and like how to make it hurt less. So like I knew my knees were about to give out and I knew I was gonna fall and I just was like I need to make this hurt the least amount before I hit the ground. So I crumpled in a way that I think was like least resistance. It actually had worked out pretty well. And then I just cried because it just I knew at that point it would take something Herculean for, New England who seemed like they had no alacrity all night to beat us. And I also knew what New Red Bull was doing in Harrison, and I was just like, I'm so used to this not happening. I'm so used to getting right here and just something happening, and it's just like, it's usually it's not like an improbable thing. It's not something that's like, oh, sometimes it's just the sport being the sport, and I'm just so used to this being snatched away from me. Watching Corey Burke head that ball in, I was just like, this is actually going to happen.
So, Devin, let me paint. I was on where Adam usually is capoing. I was by myself on there. So I'm right behind the goal. I see it go in, and I actually showed TC, my girlfriend, the on ESPN. I bring the video of the next morning. I go, look at this jackass behind the goal. And it's me. I jump, fist in the air, half spin,
Super
sunglasses
Mario.
flew, something. And then when I landed, I was maybe a foot away from the railing, and I could have easily cleared that freaking railing when I jumped. That I could have been on behind the goal during that, and I'm going, what the? Don't be that guy on ESPN. So immediately, I know it's Corey Burke that scored. I look up to see Adam, and I see him on his knees, and he's rubbing his eye. And here's what I thought. I didn't think Adam was emotional. I thought Jared ran past him with a smoke bomb and got him with a spark. I thought Adam got his eye shot out. That's what I thought happened.
It was like, no, look, one of the rare games I actually am wearing my glasses, so I had at least a little bit of eye protection just in case Jarrett wanted to take me out. And Jarrett had a fun time running back and forth with that smoke bomb. So
Jared might have run only second to like Aronson. He might have clocked in about 4.5, 5 miles during that game in the Capo area. But though I was looking for Adam, and then Dupe song's playing, and I had to get the smoke bomb because I had a smoke bomb down there, and we're lighting it up. And then I'm immediately looking for Adam because Adam, after the Dupe song, what did you sing?
Baby shark do 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 Corey Burke do 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 Scory Burke do 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 Scory Burke.
By the way, Devin, we got at the Larimer afterwards. I was in line for a beer. Guy in front of me had a Corey Burke shirt on. Adam sitting at the table. I go, Adam, what's that say on the back of his jersey? So Adam starts the Scory Burke chant. The entire brewery started doing it. People from outside started to lean in just to start singing. So the entire Larimer was there. I'm going, man, I wish Devin was here. That's all I could think of. I was thinking about you, man.
That is easily one of the most successful chants in modern Sons of Ben history. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like just because here's the thing. When that happens, like I can tell the chants that happened just in the river end, and I can tell the chants that happened in the whole bleeping stadium. Yeah. And that was the entire stadium got in on the Corey Burke chant because everyone's like, I know this tune. Like that's and moving forward, we're gonna have a long discussion about chants and all that because this is Sons of Ben the pod, so Sons of Ben news occasionally gets discussed. We have a long talk about chants that we can actually incorporate the whole stadium into because I've found a rhythm for that one in particular. I found a couple of greatest hits that can get.
That's part of chant DNA 101 is you get a catchy, earworm or catchy, depending on your opinion, and you can run with it. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the game, but Devin, you've got some notes about your viewing experience. and it's 4 words.
So,
ABC sucks. That's all. Can you elaborate a little bit more on those 4 words?
so don't get me wrong. The broadcast was great. Taylor Twellman was great. Like the part of the game being played was fine. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna slander them at all. What I have a problem with is they chose this game as their national game on decision day, knowing fair well that if the Union won, there would be celebrations, there would be trophy, there would be the whole thing. But final whistle goes right to commercial right after that. Comes back from commercial, we get a little bit of the team standing at the banner, and then the shield coming out, and then that's it. It goes to commercial and then goes
So
to sports
I made
center.
it on national TV.
None of the you
Yeah,
made
that's
it
all
on
that
national
counts.
TV.
What did you think that was going to be, Devin?
I believe.
What did you think that was going to be?
But no. Well, no. Okay, so you specifically picked this game because you knew there was going to be celebrations after the game. It's a championship game, but you can't extend your broadcast 10 extra minutes. You have to show Sports Center and show NFL highlights that everybody's going to see later anyway.
What network was this?
Give me
What
10
network
more
was
minutes.
this? What
10 more
network was
minutes.
this?
ABC.
Who is their
Okay.
sports parent company?
I get it. And
Who
that's a whole
hosts-
other conversation I can
Who
have about
hosts
ESPN and how
Monday Night
shitty they are.
Football? What do you
Alright.
look, man?
I can have
And also, look, this is a supporter shield. Like, let's be real about this. Like,
Listen,
this is
local-
a big deal.
I don't think local ABC kept it on. People had to flip over to the union's
the
website.
Good on the
Yeah.
Oh, of
Union.
course.
Yes, good on the Union.
But they
On their
knew.
Facebook.
Yeah,
I
they
think
did it on
Ricky did
Facebook.
They
Yeah.
streamed it, and streamed the whole thing, and it was great. And that was probably the most emotional part for me, was watching the celebrations and watching the team and hearing hearing Allie and hearing Ray talk and the and the whole part where Ray wasn't even gonna talk, but he
Oh,
hops out because he wants to
let me-
speak to the fans.
so
and go.
Jess and I are in that corner, and we're waiting. And then as soon as Allie's done, they're like, "Okay, go out there." So we're walking out, and then all of a sudden, Ray jumps, and we were turning to like the stands to show the Captain America
saw
shield.
this.
And then we're walking out, and then Adam Can is running like stop, like he's a traffic policeman. I'm like, what? And then Ray's talking, so we're uncomfortable we're like 15 feet from where we're supposed to be. And then Kevin Casey, God bless him, was like, please turn your attention between 140 and 101. Yo, Kevin, we ain't there, man. We're midfield right now. Because,
We're
like,
all.
yeah, because Ray jumped over, and God bless him, dude. I loved it, but
Yeah.
that wasn't. And Adam's like, this wasn't part of the program. I go, yeah, no shit, bro. We got that. You know, it was that was one of those things that, you know, because when we were on the sideline, like you're asking how we felt when the whistle blew. Probably the 89th minute, Evans is like, get to the corner now, like leave the capo stand, move around, and so
Yeah,
were-
I'm
y'all
trying to
were
watch
gone.
it, but I'm like, you know, and I'm like, people are yelling at me, and I'm just like, don't fall, just get down the stairs, and then we were waiting, we saw all the stuff they were bringing on the field, and it's Jess and I were there. Jess was shaking like a leaf, and Mark Evans, God bless him, who's been with the team since almost the very beginning. Like you could see every emotion on his face going through. Like people be like, "We did it," you know, and just like, you know, the guy didn't know if he had to cry, go to the bathroom. Like it was just, and I was just kind of numb because I'm thinking, I don't even know if I have to give a speech. They didn't tell me, so I'm like, "Ooh, let me think of some words real quick if I have to present this or not." We weren't sure what was going on, especially with COVID. In the past, supporters get on the mic and go, "Hey, Captain Alley or Coach Jim or something." So I'm thinking about that, and then I'm just like, dude, shut your brain down and suck this all in. And I just kept looking over at the river end. I was trying to catch, you know, my dad's face, TC's face, Adam's face, everybody else up there. I wanted to see if Bill Gussler was crying. You know, I was just like, let me see. But I couldn't because they were all covered in smoke. It looked like a
You're
Cheech and Chong
welcome.
movie up there.
You're
It looked
welcome.
good though, man. But we were just looking around the stadium, and I mean, you couldn't tell there was only 2,700 people. Like there was just emotion coming down there that you could feel
Yeah.
just being on the field. So it was definitely surreal, and I had to tell myself to just stop and like just enjoy the moment, just watch it, that kind of stuff. And then when the players were running around with the shield and everything, my first thought was, let me get out of here, man. I want to go see my family, my friends. Let's go get a beer and celebrate this. Like, I wanted them to have their moment, and I really wanted to get back with everybody and just
Yeah.
be like, holy, we did it. Like it hit me after that the game was over, and that we didn't get a Joe Carter home run in the ninth inning kind of thing. I was like, wait, it's really over. So that was my thought. Adam, what were you when the final whistle blew? What were you doing?
Um, I had to first scramble and find the smoke because, like you said, basically Cheech and Chong happened, and I was making sure that I was the provider of that. And no, it was a good time. And then what it got to is like I was basically holding two smoke bombs, like Nicolas Cage and The Rock, just making sure that I wasn't hit by the jets coming in. Devin, ask
Planes
your
were
parents.
landing in Subaru Park instead of the airport because Adam was guiding
Right,
them
I
in.
was just like, no, man, that American Airlines flyover was getting real close. But no, look, it was one of those moments where, you know, I was getting a lot of love from a lot of people I wasn't really expecting to get love from. I'll say that, and it was a really surreal kind of 5-10 minutes just after the whistle where you're talking to a lot of people who you've known for 6-7 years who you started to know just kind of casually like, oh, that's so and so who does something with the team, and then like these become the people you talk to like every single day. Like you think about them when you make your wedding plans, you think about them when you make your life plans, and just to see all of us have that same emotion of we've been through this, we've been through all of this. And like the amount of people who texted me and said you deserve this, and I looked at them like, why do I deserve this? Like you also
Same
deserve
thing.
this. Like you
Yeah.
like what do you mean? Like Jeffrey Mitchell told me you deserve this. Like I deserve this. Like you're Captain Philly Union. What do you mean like it just but you all realize that we all know what to do with our hands is basically the answer to it. We're all just so caught up, and we can't hug each other, but we want to hug each other. We're all just kind of like,
Wow.
wow, just wow, it's just wow.
And you've got no regrets. And I mean, I can't trade being on
No
the field to
regrets.
present the shield for anything. But I mean, I wish I was in my normal seats with my family and friends and the people that have become family and friends that sit around us, the people that we've grown up with for these 10, 11 years in the stands, just to be able to hug them during this. So I hope we get a chance at some point to all have a party and be able to, you know, do that. But that was, the closest thing. But no, that it was definitely a surreal moment. Now, Devin, you got a couple more notes. Y-
I don't know. I just we kind of touched on a little bit of it,
I
but
do want to talk about
you
the
know,
aftermath of the Shield because a miracle did happen. Sports Talk Radio finally recognized the union and did something unmentionable. Do you want to explain that?
so I was late to the train on this one. I didn't even hear about it. I was at dinner, so I didn't even hear about it until like an hour into the broadcast. But yeah, one of the hosts from 97.5, I got to pull up his name because I
Tyler
forget it.
Zulli.
Tyler.
Tyler
Yes,
Zulli. Yeah.
Tyler Zulli. He was he posted on their Twitter. He said, Union fans call in. We're talking about the Union for 2 hours, and I listened back to most of it, and I listened to the second half of it, and it was it was so surreal. Being somebody that years ago I used to listen to sports radio every day in the car, and still do occasionally, but not as much. But like hearing the Union on 97.5 being talked about for 2 hours. And the fact that during points of the broadcast, they were like blown away by the fans that were calling in, by the calls they were getting, and just the emotion that the fans had. There was points in the broadcast that their producer said like the lines were completely filled, and that was only something that usually happens after like Flyers wins and Eagles wins and stuff like
Or
that.
Eagles
Like it
losses.
was
Yeah.
he said it was historical. Like, this is the first time that the lines were filled with just Union fans, and like it was such an amazing 2 hours just to get that moment. You know.
Look,
I haven't gotten to listen to it, but I got a text from Evans through Amanda, like, screenshot. Hey, can you promote this? We were in our board meeting talking about the Shield and everything else, which for one of the first times we did as a Zoom meeting, just because we all said we got some important stuff to talk about, but let's just have beers and like celebrate because we couldn't see each other. So that's what we did, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I wasn't on this because I'd love to A, be listening to it, and B, I would have loved to call this kid because I'm like, holy crap, you're the only host on 97.5 The Fanatics and Sean Brace that had the cojones to invite the Union faithful on. So I'm definitely gonna listen to it again because I can't wait to hear it.
Look, man, I was my union contacts alerted me, and they were just like, maybe you want to get in on this, and I was just like, nah, man, union Twitter, they're gonna be good enough. I do not need to participate on this one. They'll hold it down. But no, look, I think, and this is big. I've been in the bowels of these radio stations. I know how it works. I know how the cycle goes, and you have to have a reason to move the needle. And I'm not saying that we're now going to get union talk every third segment, because like another thing everyone's got to remember, when you have sports radio, quick little lesson from Uncle Adam. When you have sports radio, you have to have the same conversation every single hour. And the reason why you have to have the same conversation every single hour is the majority of the people who are listening to radio in the modern era are doing it in their car. And they're doing it at 30 to 45-minute clips at a time, usually a commute. So the conversation that you just had 20 minutes prior was completely lost by Jim, who just got in his car after work. So you have to regurgitate that again. Hence why Carson Wentz is discussed ad nauseum every day, all day long. Because honestly, even the hosts would like to diversify their time. And if it was a podcast, they'd be able to, because they know that you could listen at any given time. But because they are beholden to sponsorships and people who have to pay their money, they have to talk about the Eagles and occasionally the Sixers until they're blue in the face. They don't even like doing it like that. That's the honest to goodness truth. However, if they can find out that there is a large enough chunk of this city that actually wants to talk Union soccer, they're not going to make it everyday programming, but when the Union do something a la like this, you'll actually get on the phone lines and someone's not going to shoot you down immediately, looking at you, Michael Missinelli, that it's an unuseful conversation and it doesn't move the needle in any capacity. They were authentically educated in that 2 hours about the possibilities and capabilities of the Union faithful. Me and Matt can go to talk to WMMR. We can go to Fox. We can go to all these news stations and radio stations that promote the Union. We're super fans. We're too deep in it. They can just see us as outliers, people who are just, the same people who are giant Philadelphia Soul fans. But, is it real? Is it tangible? Does it have substance? That 2 hour period showed substance, and again, this town wants winners. This town wants to feel good. And this makes you feel good.
And on that note, it's like with the Union playing so good, it's like there's been a number. It was mentioned a number of times on the radio show, and I've seen it, on various posts on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot of people that either A, did not follow the Union previously, or B, were just, I'll check in here and there, but I'm not going to follow them, that started following the Union during MLS is back, and I saw a number of posts on Facebook. They're like, I'm so happy that I started following back, during MLS is back. I've never followed them before, but I'm a massive fan now, and the fact that they're doing so good, obviously that's going to help grow it in the city, but we're seeing the direct impact of it.
And that's maybe the one thing I hope that we can talk to right now, just the people that listen to this pod, our members, is that this is our chance to do what we've always wanted to do and grow this game and fandom for this team. Let's not be like the Flyers fans that this year when they're making their run, they're like, "You haven't been following us. You're banned. You can't, Mike Missinelli. You can't talk about the Union anymore." As much as Missinelli and Gargano are asshats, if they want to start talking Union soccer, I'll be on their freaking show anytime they want something. I'll listen to their show. I'll support the hell out of it, just like we do Sean Brace and Joe Tanzi on The Gambler, because we want this to grow. Let's not be that bitter Betty fan base that's
Yes.
like, you weren't with us since I've been a fan since 2009 and all that.
Yeah.
Don't be like that. Like, let's get this thing up so everybody is enjoying the beauty that is this team, that is our homegrown kids going through the system, winning, going on to Europe, and we are still winning. So I just hope everybody, think big picture.
And
Don't
there's no
yeah,
positivities.
not me.
No, but there's no positivities from that gatekeeping. This isn't like the Sixers or the Fly or the Eagles or some of these teams that have like this weird giant revenue stream where they can just keep their 40,000 diehard fans and make enough. That the Union need more people to show up to help this team just be a better team. It just helps. They need, when we're allowed to go back and have full capacities and all that, the gates are going to help. The merchandise sales are going to help. And, the team also has to recognize you got to go to the people now. They have to capitalize on this as much as we, the fans, have to also do that. And here's the thing. I've talked to enough people to know that the Union are definitely making strides to capitalize on this recent success, but they have to. This is the time for all of the things to come together. You got nothing on the calendar right now. Literally, the only thing on television for the last calendar week that was a Philadelphia sporting event was the Union's game on Sunday. There's no distractions, even though it's November, which is usually the greatest time of sporting distractions ever. There are no distractions right now. Penn State's absolutely atrocious. Eagles are similar. You have to do both things. The Union have to do it on their own. And look, the Sixers sending Kasper Shabilko a jersey today. That's bigger than people want to think about.
Still wanted to get into that.
That's bigger than people want to think about, because that is something that the Union will send the Sixers gear till they're blue in the face. That's the obvious move. But the opposite direction, that's acceptance. That's on the level. That's you are us, we are you. That's synergy. That is what the Union want. Bedoya said it out loud. We're 5 for 5. He wants that to be real. And look, we're not gonna get there because Philly's too deep in it. I'm just gonna say it, but we're gonna get to be 4.5. I definitely believe we can be 4.5. I definitely believe we could be that next tier and be solidified in the lexicon in the same discussion. We can be on the level of the colleges, and which in Philadelphia is basically the second tier,
Yeah. I think I saw a tweet that put it best. We're not asking to be number one. We're just asking for a seat at the table.
Just to be a part of the
That's
conversation.
And let me say this. I'm going to make a little plea to our friends at 97.5, Mark Farzetta, our boy who was on the show, sensitive bro, Jamie Lynch.
Yo, Jamie.
Hey guys, would 20 to 25,000 loyal listeners help you close that gap between that other station that used to be a rock station on down the dial? Would 20,000 fans, 20,000 listeners help you? I think they probably would. So why don't you do something a little different, a little bold, and mix it up a little bit and talk Union soccer? Then you might get more listeners, not just, Joe from Jenkintown that flips between the two stations to see when he can get on. Why don't you break the formula? Because you know what? You're not winning this fight right now by playing the same game they're doing. That's my thought. Now, the other thought is Adam, the Sixers. They sent Shabilko a jersey. I got 3 questions.
What's that?
A, did they think maybe he was a European sharpshooter that they needed?
Possibly.
B, did they spell his name right?
They did, actually, yes.
And C, where's yours? Why did they get Adam Booth a jersey? Do I got to
We
talk
need
to Elton
lobby
Brand?
for Adam
Look,
Do I got to talk to
man.
Elton Brand about this?
Look, all right, so if we want to do the lobbying, first I want a St. Joe soccer jersey. I've been asking for one of those for 12 years, and I do not know why it's taken so long. They actually, St. Joe's one
They
of
don't
the
have a
years-
student store?
No, they don't sell the soccer jersey. They sell the basketball jersey because we're a tiny Catholic school. We're not promoting our mediocre at best soccer team. However, they had the Waldo jerseys one year in the St. Joe's colors, and I would harpoon a seal, a baby seal for that jersey. I'm real with you. I would commit felony crime to have that jersey in my life. But beyond that,
AdamBooth@gmail.com.
look, man,
All
talk
you
to me.
PETA people, you go right to
Fight me. I'm gonna do it. Like literally for that jersey, I would do terrible things. But no, legit. But I don't necessarily want this one. I'll buy it. I'm not really excited about it. Like, all right. I actually am pretty excited about it. But it's like,
It's got to grow on you. I didn't
and it
immediately
will.
look at. Yeah, I didn't look at it and go, "Oh, I need that." But I go, "Okay." And by the way, I mean the
It
basketball
will.
jersey is by far the worst sports jersey for an average male to wear. The soccer jersey looks good. Football jersey, little white trashish.
It's a little
The
husky.
hockey jersey,
Little husky.
the hockey sweater looks good, and the baseball, button up. That's a nice item for the summertime, nice and cool.
You gotta
But
pair it properly.
Yeah,
All these
but-
guys wearing cargo shorts with baseball jerseys need to stop.
yeah, but the basketball, the NBA jersey is the worst piece of merch to ever own. You can't wear it right. I don't care who you are. Either you're wearing it like a tank top and you look like a buffoon on the Wildwood Boardwalk, or you're wearing it with a long sleeve shirt underneath, and that ain't a good look either. Like,
No.
you're just basically kissing away any chance of having sex in your future by putting that on.
No, man, you gotta give the classic, which I can only make synonymous with the city of Boston, which is the gentleman who literally came from work 20 minutes prior, but so happened to have his Larry Bird jersey in his briefcase and threw it on over his button-up collared shirt. That to me is the greatest version of NBA sports fan, and the best disconnect between the actual people who put the ball in the hoop and the people who pay astronomical amounts of money to see them put that ball in said hoop. But no, I mean, look. Caucasian males at the beach and at music festivals have been revitalizing the throwback jersey game, and Mitchell and Ness is so thankful for them and their business and their patronage. Because if it wasn't for them, people would not remember what the purple Vince Carter Toronto Raptors jersey looked like, or the Charles Barkley Houston Rockets back in the day.
Or the Phoenix Suns mess of it. Yeah. that
Remember when the
Barkley one?
Houston Rocket had a mouth? The Rocket had a mouth because the 90s were a really weird time. Kids, Google the 90s and Google what the Cleveland Cavaliers were wearing back then. That was low-key
God.
one of the weirdest jerseys in the NBA was what the Cavs
Listen,
were wearing in the
The
90s.
Sixers are not immune. They had some ugly stinkers for
Oh,
a while.
the star jerseys? Look, man.
Oh.
But here's the best part about that being vintage now. Somehow that is kind of cool and not the trashiest uniform of all time. But I digress.
Yeah.
Look,
So
it's a beautiful thing to have the synergy between all the teams. I'm hoping that we get who is the one that we're gonna make the ambassador to the Eagles? Like who is our because we had Boston Scott come to the Union and that was good synergy. But who is the most football playing Union player that we have?
I don't know, man. I was up close when he took his shirt off, and it might be Sergio Santos.
Sergio Santos would be a really good wide receiver.
My man does not miss lat day at all. He must do lat day every day. It's just unbelievable. All right, Devin, you had one more thing on here. Let's get to, and I guess people want to know upcoming plans for the Shield, the members, the Union fans. All right, so the Sons of Ben are the custodians of the Shield. That means the team doesn't have it. We have it. We are setting up a Google Share calendar with, the Sons of Ben, Union marketing, and the Union players. And our goal is to get this Shield in everybody's hands as soon as we can, when we can. This is the Stanley Cup but the team, the fans get to hold it. Give us a little time to get stuff set up because it's been rapid and moving. Like yesterday at night, hey, the guys are getting COVID testing. Can you bring it? Take pictures. Sure. I'll work from my car from there. No problem. Today it's tomorrow they're doing a video. Can you bring it there? Sure. And then they're going to bring it back. And we're just trying to juggle it around and get it to the right people. But let me tell you a couple of things. We're going to try to do COVID safe so people can take pictures of it before the playoffs. We don't know if it's going to be at the stadium or at the Larimer. We're working on that. I will tell you, though, for the playoff game, we made the decision. We are going to put the supporter shield in Eric Schertz's old season tickets, which he's right in the front of 137. It's going to be there to honor Eric because he passed away in 2014. Right next to that, you're going to see a straw hat that was one of Kenny Hansen's hats. So with the supporter shield for the playoff game, it's going to be there to honor some of our members that can't be there, can't watch it. So we're doing that. So if you want to see the shield, we're gonna do it. We're figuring it out, but just the first couple weeks, it's gonna get a little hectic because we want to make sure the players have got as much access. We want to make sure the old school guys have got their time with it. We want to make sure people on the board that have had blood, sweat, and tears have time with it. I even think Adam might get a little time with it. We're gonna see about that.
You act like I'm not going to storm the beaches and get that from you immediately after my surgery. Like the moment they tell me I'm an able-bodied human again, I am coming for it. And look, Kai Wagner is going to look like PG compared to what's going to happen with me in that shield. I'm just
I hope the hospital gives you plenty sanitary wipes.
Look,
That's all
man,
I hope for.
look. It's going to be sprayed down after I'm done. I'm just saying the process is going to be not fun.
I think the biggest request is you're going to want to request who you want to get the shield before they touch it.
Yeah, that's why I'm
pretty much.
That's why I'm getting it. That's why I'm getting like second or third. Like all the players have touched it. I'm not trying to be on like the fifth person on this Congo line of humans touching that. So I'm trying to get. And look, I'm geographically probably the second closest Sons of Ben member to you. That's not TC. So it makes enough sense to just hop it down to JFK Boulevard.
Now, Devin, do we have anything to touch on before we get into the final, the JC Savage Jim quote
Nope.
of the?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, we have
JC.
a lot of stuff to get to actually. Sorry, yeah.
You got to
Go
edit
ahead.
this mess. So, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I don't know why somebody asked Jim the most kind of like basic softball question. How does winning the team's first hardware feel? Savage Jim in perfect cadence goes, to quote the great 17-time styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying champion of the world, Ric Flair. Woo! That's all you had to say about that.
There's like three things about that quote, and I just want to pull it in. Just like three. One, why are we so old? Like, I mean, look, I'm all for the
Ric Flair is called timeless, not old. It's a classic,
look,
not
man,
old.
Look, I'm thankful for the Flyers bringing back the woo so that this generation understands the context of that. Second, Jim's getting a little lazy with these quotes. I gotta say, just a woo. I mean, like maybe like a woo, hit it one time, woo. Okay, no, but no.
He may wear Yeezys on the sideline, but I don't think he's got that kind of soul.
No, Jim Curtin is the coolest coach in MLS, and when he wins MLS Coach of the Year, I hope he wears Yeezys to the ceremony. Cause like Jim Curtin looks like the dude who'd wear a full suit to prom, but then like Chuck Taylor's.
I'm sure he did.
That Jim is like the original hipster. Like that's why that Jim is so Philly that he's actually one of like the 2006 OG hipsters. That's what he really is in his soul, So like that, like I'm happy for Jim as much as I'm happy for almost any person else out there because like look, being a coach sucks. Unless you're like Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich, people 80% of the time kind of treat you like garbage and then 20% of the time call you a genius. And like the amount of people who just wanted Jim Curtin's head has been like historic, especially for this fan base. And like, look, he would be the last person to flip birds to a fan base because he knows why it was difficult for him and why it took him so long. And he thanked everyone who trusted him to stay this long, to be the coach this long. But like, look, everyone was talking about Brendan and McKenzie and, probably Fontana. And hell, if you give him some more playing time, maybe even Matt Real gets loose here. When are people going to start looking at Jim?
Oh. Listen, I mean, this is one of the conversations we'll probably have with our owner buddies. Is
Right.
Jim ain't making the most money in the MLS,
Oh,
and they
no.
better.
They're going to have to open the
They're gonna have to
pocketbook.
bring. I'm not saying a Brinks truck, but
Back it
a
up.
nice sized pickup truck like a Hemi, and pay that man, give that man his money.
But it's just like, look, man, Jesse March went over to Europe. He's having success as of now. You know, I'm saying like the idea now with the amount of MLS players going over to Europe, the seal has been broken on MLS isn't good enough to produce talent for the upper echelons of European football. Like, I'm not saying he's going to get plucked overnight, but like Jim has, if you look at the resume and you look at the bullets in the gun throughout the course of his career, what he's been doing is quite impressive. He's made 3 finals. He's won now a supporters shield. You know, he's put this team in the playoffs for 3 consecutive years. You know, this is something that we need to really recognize that this man actually might have some coaching chops that, you know, this isn't the pinnacle of soccer. There might be someone who's looking at a Jim Curtin and saying, "Hey,
I'll,
Yeah,
he might
I'll
be
take you.
he might
I'll
be a
take you
thing."
one step. I'll take you one step further on your comments just to make it more impressive. He did that 3 U.S. Cup finals, winning a supporter shield, playoffs. He did that with, I think, when we had him on since his coaching career started, when he was on the pod. What did he say? He had about 5 sporting directors, really.
And
I
easily,
mean,
Yeah.
he's had obstacles that no other coach has really had to go through. Plus, being in
And
one of the toughest sports cities I mean,
his
in the
home,
world.
in his home, the pressure
Yeah.
of doing this
and
in his
So,
hometown.
they say it all the time that they've had the most, whatever they want to call it, spending efficiency or whatever it is. They spent the least amount of money, but yet they've come out and performed just like the top teams have. And yeah, Adam, you make great points. I mean, it might not be, especially now that they won the Supporters Shield, it might not be out of the realm of possibility that some European clubs might be scouting Jim, not only our players,
yeah.
Well,
but
like
also our
Jim
coach.
said it himself,
Hey,
half of his coaching staff was about to get plucked after this season because of their capabilities, and I'm like, Jim, why do you think you're here forever? You know, because it's like
Yeah.
if the you can look at all the other and I know I'm digressing and we've gone long with this pod, but I'm just saying if you look at all the other coaches right now in MLS and you look at a lot of these guys who were given quality players, like you look at Columbus, man, getting Jazzy Zardes on an MLS level is actually pretty impressive. Darlington Nagbe, these guys are high level talents. Like, you know, what Bruce Arena was getting with Bo, with like the DPs that they're bringing into a lot of these clubs are either at one time or even currently really high caliber talent players. And like, this has nothing to say about any person on the Union's roster, but we got half of them for literally $0. And
Oh, yeah.
it to have this amount of success, because it wasn't like, yeah, we'll talk about the disjointed schedule till we're blue in the face. They went to Los Angeles and they competed. They played Toronto and they competed. They played Columbus, and look, I understand the results didn't go in the favor of that, but 2 games on the road in Columbus, they competed in both of those. When the Union were tested time and time again, they stepped up to the plate and they not only competed, normally they won. And even if they lost, they bounced back immediately and won. Jim Curtin easily is coach of the year. And on top of that, you take a look at what he's done again with literally just a bunch of individuals who would not be considered high level must see players in a lot of other parts of the globe. Yeah, he needs to be looked at. That is fine tactics, you know, that is working with what you got, you know.
Well, I'm going to be selfish and say, don't look at him. He's ours, and we'll have Union Hulk to protect him. Devin, did we cover everything and give you about 14 hours worth of editing work ahead of you?
I'd say there's more to talk about, but I feel like you guys might have to go.
Look, it's okay.
Yeah. Well,
It's
listen,
okay.
I think
Tottenham's
people
top
will
of the
be
table.
driving off
We
the
can make
cliff
that.
listening to this. So I think we've covered everything we had, and we've got more to cover. Gentlemen, man, Supporter Shield champions, 2020, and we got this thing for 1 year. Let's figure out what to do with it. It's going to be a good time.
Big time.
Everybody, thanks a lot for episode 44. And remember, wash your hands.
It was a sexy season.
It still is.